worked perfectly. All right, everybody, welcome to the show, everybody. This is SpeakuP Monday. We're here in the garden of Tropical Nomad here in Canggu. This is episode number 454, and tonight is for the Web3 heads, right? So this is all about how do we bring forth a new financial reality utilizing Web3. We have a brother over here, Mr. Ryzn Domino, otherwise known as the King of Web3, and we'll find out what that title means, what it's for. We'll find out that pretty soon. But as you know, my name is Robert Ian Bonnick, and this is SpeakuP Monday, Destination Indonesia. And as you know, we've been around 5 years almost, about 1,000 guests, 10,000 audience members, over 1 million online views. And look, there's three things which underpin the show. So one is that people inspire people. Number two is unity in diversity, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, which is the motto of Indonesia. And the third one is entrepreneurship and social impact. So today we've got some questions because it's going to be that kind of interview. So I'm going to do this. Nice. Which actually worked. So I'll give you a bit of an intro first. Okay, so our brother here. So Ryzn Domino, aka the King of Web3, has been immersed in blockchain technology for 14 years as an investor, developer, and futurist. He's showing us a tattoo now, I think. A driving force behind voice that you're going to hear about tonight. He is a passionate individual who loves to bridge the gaps in the blockchain space, including monetizing social media that a few people had questions about earlier on here in a live studio audience, media, data, and enabling peer-to-peer crypto transactions. And his vision is a decentralized digital world where individuals own their own data and identities. Now, as you know about me, as I mentioned, Robert Ian Bonnick, I'm a #1 Bali changemaker, international speaker, author, advisor, host of SpeakuP Monday, Destination Indonesia. And look, you know, as I mentioned before, we've been endorsed by Forbes Business Council, by the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy here in Indonesia, and obviously Bali Tourism Board, Promotion Board as well. And we're a gateway to Indonesia for local and foreign companies that want to expand. Another piece of paper gone. So, longest intro ever. Ryzn, welcome to the show. Round of applause again, please.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, brother.
Oh, we got a handshake.
There we go. We got it.
There you go. All right, so we're going to talk about tonight. We've got a few key takeaways I want to go through. So one is the power of Web 3.0, how blockchain and decentralized systems can transform the global financial ecosystem. Number two, personal data ownership. Why owning your own data footprint or your own digital footprint, let's get it right, is critical in the Web3 era. Number three, monetizing social media data, exploring the potential of turning your online activity into a financial asset. Then number four, challenges and innovations, insights into overcoming obstacles in the blockchain space to drive positive change. And final one, the future of voice. So as I mentioned, we're going to find out what is voice, not the one that I'm speaking to you now on, but voice, the company in the blockchain Web3 space, and how this platform aims to decentralize the economy and create a more equitable digital world. So there you go. I think that completes the longest intro in the world, but I'm okay with that. You're still here. That's a good sign. So let's break it down first. You know, a bit of personal stuff. So background experience.
I want to say, I want to say thank you first of all, because Robert Bonnick has put 30 days basically into putting this amazing intro together, and I greatly appreciate him putting this amazing intro together because it's a very heavy, beautiful subject. So thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Welcome, my brother. So let's go from here. You know, personal background and experience. So what brought you to the Web3 space, and kind of why is it important?
It's very, very important. I've been mining Bitcoin for 13 years. For 13 years, I've been mining Bitcoin, and we made the second largest Bitcoin mine in the world. It's been here we are at 100. It's been $100,000 a Bitcoin now. We're like at 95 right now. It's about ready to. I think it's going to do really well this year. But in this process of 13 years working in the blockchain space full time, I'm a father of two beautiful daughters. Shout out to my daughters, Isla and Ava. 13 and 16 years old nowadays.
I have two daughters too, so I can feel you, brother.
Yeah, right. So anyways, we want to make the world a better place, and we have the technologies to do so right now. And this is very, very muy importante right now. And so, blockchain, and in the blockchain space, we are now at a point that we're at critical mass. So we have 1,000 blockchains out there in the world. We've got 2.3 million different cryptocurrencies in the world. That's a lot of freaking cryptocurrencies. And I'll put out there like this. The whole world basically is a Ponzi scheme. Okay, every single currency in the world is a Ponzi scheme. In a sense, Ponzi is just a word. First of all, as I want to say that for the record, and it's in the value of a currency is just about the belief that a person has, whether it's digital, if it's a fiat money system, it's all about the belief in the currency. So obviously, the U.S. dollar has devalued about 97+%, 98%. That's not too cool, and they keep printing this stuff, right? So fiat money systems have been proven to fail for a very, very long time. There's also on those 1,000 blockchains in the world, there's 2.3 million different kinds of cryptocurrencies to even make it even more Ponzi-ish. Okay, but blockchain, the underlying technology in the blockchain space is absolutely freaking beautiful. It was beautiful moving forward as we move before metaverse, where this is going. And not to get too technical, it's all about simplifying your life. Is how do we take those 1,000 blockchains, those 2.3 million cryptocurrencies in the world, and actually make it simplified so even my grandma, if she was alive, still could utilize this beautiful new economy.
Okay, so let's break it down. So just a quick show of hands. So how many people in the audience here know what Web3 is? Just raise your hand. Great. Those who have no clue or idea what the hell it is, just raise your hand. It's okay. Raise your hand.
And just for the record, that was probably about less than 1/4 of the population in this room. There you go.
So if you maybe start off in the simple terms, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. So it is awesome. So if we look at the internet, basically compare this to the baseball field, like a baseball diamond. You got first base, you got second base. And I apologize if I'm a little bit, I'm very excited, and I've been waiting a long time to share this knowledge with you all. So thank you for your understanding my shakiness with this coffee and stuff and my long motorcycle ride. So anyways, the thing about it is, back to the baseball analogy, you have Web 1, first base, Web 2, second base. That's what Facebook, Instagram, all these, that's what Uber's in right now. And if it rains, guys, we're going to still be here. You guys can go to shelter. We're going to rock and roll. Okay, so here also, we are going to, you got Web 3, and then you got Web 4, which is home plate, what I call this, the metaverse. Okay, the transition that's taking place right now is going from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. Now, here's the kicker, the elephant in the room, my friends, is that these companies such as Meta out there, and you see I have a machine gun on my hand right here, and has Mark Zuckerberg's initials right here on the base of it, is because I work for God, and I do God's work, a divine God, every single day to change the world as fast as possible right now, because the world deserves this right now. And then what's going to happen is so what's happening in Web 2.0 is they're tied to the stock exchanges. You guys, if you need to get comfortable, I fully understand, okay? So they're tied, these companies are tied to the stock exchanges, okay? So they cannot give what Web3 means is that the money goes back to the people. This means if an Uber goes back to the people, the $185 billion market cap of Uber, if that money goes back, when that money goes back to the people, because Web 2 is where the money goes from us to Mark Zuckerberg's pockets, for example. This has got to change because he's made $200 billion. Now he's just building a house underground right now, but I appreciate him for connecting us all. So moving into Web 3, this means that the money goes back to the people. Airbnb and all these companies, the money going $28 billion market cap. Uber, $185 billion market cap, up $50 billion, I believe, this year. Facebook, $200 billion. We're talking $1 trillion very simply with these applications on our phone. This is Web 2.0. So I would love for you guys to imagine that Web 3.0, the social media network, what we've created is a new operating system, a new OS, just like Microsoft, just like Facebook, just like Apple, Android, an OS, an operating system. We have created the new operating system of the world right here, which means that the money is going to go back to the people in Web 3.0 through these applications via smart contract into something called what's called a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. And this is all going to be done in cryptocurrency of the people. Imagine a social media network cryptocurrency that this money goes back to the people, and this money is going to skyrocket in value, obviously, because this is borderless. There's a reason why the globalists shut down Facebook from coming out with their own cryptocurrency about 6 years ago, and they swept it under the rug. It was called Libra Coin, Libra. Do your due diligence on that. They said, no, you can't release that, Mark Zuckerberg, because it would have taken over the fiat money systems. Go ahead.
All right, so we've got a bit of rain here, so we're okay for now, but we might end up moving. We do have some cover shade over here if you want to go into that.
Thank you for listening.
I don't mind getting a little bit wet. It's okay. So look, so let's go back. So Web 1, let's say, is what you can read for the ones at our age, right?
Yeah.
I can read it on a computer screen. Web 2 is basically, I read and I can interact with it. Okay?
Yep.
Like Facebook, YouTube, and so on. Now, Web 3, what we're saying is that not only can I read, not only can I interact with it, but Web 3 means that I can now own it. And I can now monetize it myself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, next question. So, we've identified a little bit about why that's important. So, next question is, we know what inspired you to move. Now, you mentioned before about Ponzi. Right?
Yeah.
So now we've got some challenges and obstacles that you faced in your career. So let's talk a little bit about, some of these obstacles and challenges that you faced. Also, let's also after that get into, this word Ponzi and kind of what it meant for you in the past. But let's go first about the obstacles and challenges that you faced, and then we'll go to that example.
Hold this, please.
For sure.
So what's really interesting, friends, is I'm sure that every single one of you has actually been part of a network marketing company. This is very interesting because what happens in networking is great. We become friends, whether you're part of doTERRA selling essential oils, if you're selling isogenics, protein shakes, or whether we've all been part. I bet everyone in this room has done some kind of network marketing situation. There's also this to help change the cryptocurrency space, bring a lot of people into cryptocurrency through self-promotion, stuff like this as well. And so obviously companies, just like a black and white television, sometimes these companies do not last. Okay, there's evolution. New blockchains come out. We just saw Solana, for example, flip Ethereum just the other day, for example. Ethereum's tattooed on my fingernail. On my finger right here. Does that make Ethereum a Ponzi scheme just because Solana just flipped it? No. It's evolution at the finest. And this is why monetization beyond blockchain, I've said for 13 years, is the biggest thing, because it's the blend of when we have a great idea and we share it across the world. Now imagine establishing those connections straight on the blockchains for life. So imagine when you join Facebook or Instagram, for example, you told Facebook some friends to join it with you. You don't even remember who you told to join that, and you're not aware of who those people that they told those people to join underneath. So imagine a new social media platform that all your friends are on the blockchain. Okay. This is going to be called Voice, VOICE, voice. Beautiful word right there. Yeah, where everyone has a voice. Okay, and then what this does is it unites the people. Imagine your relationships 25 levels deep, monetized on the blockchain, where you can actually see these connections.
Slow down. All right, so everybody.
I'm going to condense it. We have weather conditions and everything.
It's all good. So what I'm going to do, because Ryzn is a man with a passion, right, and can speak at a million miles an hour. So I'm going to ask you just to slow down a little bit, just so people can keep up with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we got weather obviously here and everything, so there's a lot going on. But anyways, you guys imagine this, that the people own the social media network. Social media is a $1 trillion industry, and when you have a cryptocurrency of the social media platform of the people, this monetization movement will only be done one time in history, where your friends, your loved ones will be monetized. It's not like friendships where you go make a friend and it's like grains of sand falling through your hands. They're actually with you for life, and you're benefiting together from all of the applications via smart contract into that monetized, which is called a DAO platform. This was not possible until DAO technology came out, which stands for a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. That means like if Facebook was living on the blockchain, that's what we're working with right now.
Beautiful. Now, okay, this is the interesting part. As I mentioned, we've got a little bit of rain here, hence the umbrella. So I think in 454 episodes now, I don't think I've had an umbrella in my hand. So no, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, thank you. Well, we'll take it in turns. So this kind of makes it a little bit more interesting for me, which every show has its own vibe, its own container, its own je ne sais quoi. So it's amazing this is happening now. All right. So look, so we've spoken a little bit about the Ponzi scheme, and look, let's just name it. So there were certain allegations against yourself personally, right? So let's give you a chance to answer that.
So I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home parent for my children. I believe that I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home parent. I think for my children growing up, and I always have been a stay-at-home parent for my children, and my children have been so blessed to live in, very nice homes, lavish, lifestyle, being able to, because I've been involved in cryptocurrency since Bitcoin was $235. You can do the math, just try, So anyways, it's been a blessing to be able, and I believe that everyone should be able to be a stay-at-home parent with their children. This is very, very important instead of other people. This is priceless, that people should be able to raise their own children in their homes as a family. We should not be separated. Okay. And so I got involved in network marketing just like you all have. And these things, and I worked hard because I wanted to be a stay-at-home parent. That was always the lifestyle that people flaunt. Oh, I'm a stay-at-home. And I was able to do that because I worked hard. But when you work hard, what happens is you get a lot of notoriety. But when you don't own these companies fall, apart because something happens that's outside your control. That's not your problemo right there. And so sometimes people point the finger at you when it's not you. So I call myself the Christopher Columbus in this space. I never give up. I'm going to the promised land and taking you all with me.
All right. Thank you. All right. So next question, which I have here is, so we mentioned before, like the king of Web3. Now that's a pretty bold statement there. So look, if someone said to you, look, Ryzn, right? So you've been in the space for 14 years as a developer, well, as an investor, as a person working for other companies. You've had a bit of notoriety, things that maybe weren't in your control, but have kind of been on your record if someone checks you out in Google. Thank you very much. So then clearly you're a person who has a lot of, how do I say, you're able to dig deep, right? And not give up, right? So this is obviously a very powerful winning strategy, not strategy, a winning value that you have, right? So here's the question. So king of Web3. So where did that come from? What does it mean? And why are you the king of Web3?
First of all, I want to say hashtag no ego, zero ego. Okay. And I mean this, and I strive to be this role because someone's got to do it. Okay. Here's the situation is, first of all, when we think about monetization, I want to think back into like the days when there was castles and kingdoms. You had a king. Okay. And I want to say, first of all, I aspire to go ahead and create kings and queens across the world per se. And that just means that people have big networks of distribution channels across the globe. Okay. And so that's very, very important right there. Now, the thing about it is, so this is again, zero ego involved here. What I did was we went ahead, and you have to ask yourself, first of all, what is the core of Web 3.0? Okay. And then only 25% roughly or less of you here, I'd say 22%, 22.5, are aware that of what Web3 is. So when I say, again, what is the core, the essence of Web 3.0, what does this mean? I personally believe, and I'm always open to knowledge from others and hypotheses and educated guesses and all this fun stuff. But what is that? And it has come down to the core is a monetized social media network. Okay, and again, this monetization, when we do it properly, it will only have to be done one time, and we have a group of people backed by mega millions and billions of dollars of entities coming into this. Okay, there's certain information I will not reveal at this time in organizations, in political situations, but I will say, for example, shout out to my friend Vit, who is the president of Liberland. My dear friend Vit, who is the president of the only blockchain country in the world, is one of my business partners. That I will say, and I'm looking forward to him assisting in helping Bali go on the blockchain. So but getting back to this, what does it mean to be king of Web3? So I want to establish that first of all, the core of what Web 3.0 is, first of all, right there, right? Okay, so my hypothesis is, and I have not been challenged whatsoever about this hypothesis, but I'm open to this. Please challenge the situation. Okay, is that it comes down to a monetized social network, and then what this does is it becomes a distribution channel for anything in the world to be sold through the monetized social network. So imagine. So what I did was I took core technologies and I fused them together. I took decentralized AWS servers, Amazon Web Servers. The first goal is to bring the internet across the globe right now. Okay, and currently there's about 10 million people die, from lack of food in this world. We also want to end world hunger, and this is very doable once we connect. Everyone goes online, and we redistribute the wealth of the planet with a currency that all blockchains pour into. So just what I did was I fused these technologies together. AWS servers. We also have, we went ahead and what I did was, imagine Zoom, for example. I decentralized Zoom with a company called United.space. You can take a note on that, UNYTED.space. Zoom is a $28 billion industry right there, 28 billion. Just imagine if that money went back to the people, and no offense, Zoom, but it's kind of lame compared to what we got with Web 4, actually technology right there, and artificial intelligence. So you take that market cap, for example, imagine Facebook and this all on the blockchain and fully decentralized, and that 28 billion going back to the people in Web 3.0 of Zoom, for example. Then what I did was we took the second application, imagine this, I took Meetup, and I took also the application Ticketmaster. I put them together and we decentralized it. I didn't decentralize it. It was my dear friend Ujwal who won the contest here at CoinFest 2024, Bali, down at Nuanu, first place out of 400 Web3 programmers, where he decentralized a Ticketmaster within 4 hours. Hello, imagine that. That's another $28 billion Ticketmaster's valued at, going back to the people. Go ahead.
Let me firstly, if we get Ryzn a little bit more water, I think he's going to go. He's going to go through a bit of water. So, all right, if I can paraphrase here a little bit, it's okay. They'll come and collect you. It's okay, brother. You can just chill. So what you're basically saying is that with no ego, right? The king of Web3 is because, all right, there's a term which I haven't spoken about for a while. It's called combinatory creativity. Combinatory creativity. By the way, can everybody hear us? Because now you've moved. Just raise your hand and say, we can hear you. Woo! I can't hear you. We can hear you.
Good. Thank you, guys.
All right. Okay. One person said we can hear you. That's good. All right. So combinated creativity is people like Leonardo da Vinci. They're people which are able to see different market sectors or different industries or different areas of life, okay, which have their own kind of silo, right?
Yes.
And what that means is that each individual area has its own theme, and you can be in that area and that's your entire world, right? So it's difficult then for you to actually pop your head up and have a look and see what's happening over there, and there, because you're so deeply immersed in your own silo. What combinated creativity is the ability to be able to, I guess from a perspective, is to be able to identify the key ingredients and drivers of each one of these silos and then cross-pollinate them in a way that perhaps either hasn't been done before or is kind of obvious but no one has done it yet. So what you're saying, from what I can take, by fusing some of these companies together in a Web3 environment, what you're actually doing then is kind of pulling and cross-pollinating from different industries, different market sectors to create something that perhaps has never been created before. That's
exactly correct. Okay, and I'll also give you guys a third application is we're decentralizing Uber. There's a company called Fare.io, Fare.io. I'm not going to put numbers out there, but I'm going to say it's multiple 9 figures into this system, Fair.io, okay, and this is decent. Again, Uber, not Gojek is used here in Bali, but the decentralized rideshare industry is about a $275 billion industry. Again, imagine if Uber was tied into Facebook, what that would look like, and then there's a cryptocurrency of the people, for the people, by the people, that had burning tokenomics. Burning means that the coin is destroyed on every single transaction. We're going to get to the core of this. You guys, it's going to blow your mind. This is going to change the entire world. That's why I'm so confident about this. But check this out. Let's go back to the Uber situation. Okay, so I'm from America. I'm from Seattle. I love Bali. I've been here for 4.5 months. Been friends with Robert here now for many months. Love this guy. That's why I chose to come on this show, because I love you, brother. Okay? Now, yes, thank you for conveying this message. So the thing about it is imagine Uber. What happens when you go get an Uber ride? Let's say that you spend $45. They get paid a little bit more than the Gojek drivers here, okay? Now, what they do is they take about 32 to 35% of the income right there. So let's go ahead and say that they take 15% of every single transaction. Excuse me. Let's say that they take 35% of the transaction, which is $15 they make off that $45 ride. So that's Web 2. See what happens in Web 3, imagine that $15 goes back to the people. So look at the new operating system of the world, okay? Think about it. Let's let that resonate and sink in. The new OS of the world. I don't think anyone's going to fight free money. See, the whole entire world is set up like a pyramid, you know. And a pyramid. What we did was we took the pyramid, we'll call it a triangle, and we turned it upside down to create a funnel where the money just comes back to you from all these different applications. Who's going to turn down free money? I don't think many people would. Okay, especially with a coin that is going to skyrocket. I personally believe.
Back to the Uber. So $15 out of 45.
So let's see what happens is within this, the core technology is the social media platform. Let's say that you went ahead and told 5 people about this social media platform, and consider this as a 20, and this is all free. First of all, I don't want a single penny from anyone ever in this room, ever. Disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Don't give me money ever. Okay? So what happens is imagine 25 levels deep. Like you told 5 people about this. They told 2 people because it was so cool, and this thing spread faster than
just fast.
It spread really fast, let's say, okay? And this thing spread, 5 people get 2 people, get 2 people. By level 25, you have 86 million people in your social graph, we call this. Crazy, right? 86 million people monetized to you. Who cares if it was 1 million people? Who cares if it was 500,000 people? But if you got the memo early and you said, man, I'm going to go ahead and get 1 billion people and go for it, why not? Because I'm tired of working. I want to play with my children. Okay, so imagine this. Someone gets that Uber ride. Now what happens is the application ties into this Uber, no matter what blockchain that application, that Uber is built into. Let's say it's built on Ethereum network, for example, or Tron network. That application is built in via smart contract into the DAO, the decentralized autonomous organization, which is the mainframe, which is the social media platform right there. Excuse me. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, I just don't want to waste your guys' time. Okay, so now what happens is imagine a friend of a friend, 25 levels deep, gets that Uber ride. It triggers what's called a smart contract straight into the DAO, and that $15 is then divvied up 25 levels up, meaning that 68 cents or so goes up automatically this fast. And on every single transaction, that coin is being burned. This is called burning tokenomics, which is, I did not do well in college. I graduated from University of Washington in 2001, but in community college, I took Econ 101. I did not take Econ 102. Okay, or 202, whatever, right? But I do know supply and demand, and there's this chart, right? So what happens is when you have burning tokenomics of destroying these coins on every single transaction, that's a beautiful thing, because what we're doing is we're creating scarcity. Supply goes down, and then demand goes up, means price goes up of that social media cryptocurrency that overrides all those apps. So imagine instead of just putting money into this your Uber ride, you're actually seeing money coming back to you every single day of 100 people or 1,000 people every single day. It just gets so exciting. You're just getting rich as heck just off of your Uber app, not including Zoom or anything else.
All right. So let me see if I can break this down. So okay. So what you're saying is that in a Web 2 world, you have these big companies that we all use at some point in time.
I call them technocrats.
Okay, we have these technocrats, these large companies.
Tech royalty,
right. Now, don't interrupt me, okay? All right, so we have these companies that people will use. They're large companies. At this point in time in the Web2 world, what you're saying is that the profits from that company go back to the shareholders, the boards, and so on. So
on Wall Street.
On Wall Street. Thank you. That's not an interruption. That's an addition. Good. So what you're saying is that by moving, for example, for the sake of this conversation, by moving that to a Web3 model, the money that would have gone to the Wall Street execs now comes back to the people.
Yeah.
Right? And comes back to the people, grab a seat, Christian, comes back to the people via this social network.
This is correct.
Okay.
This is not just a social network. This is a social marketplace.
Great.
Big difference. Let's make some money.
Got it. So then what you're saying is that then you're not just talking about one product or service, you're talking about multiple that all tie back into this community.
That's correct. We also have decentralized OnlyFans and then called it not OnlyFans. Oh.
Okay, right. Does everybody follow what's already been said at the moment? If you don't, just raise your hand. It's okay, yeah? Because I want to bring everybody with us as we go down this journey. All right, so no hands. So that either means they're too embarrassed. Oh, there's one. Okay, so maybe Guzman, if we can grab the third mic to our brother over here. And so no need to introduce yourself. Just go straight to the bit that you're not sure about, okay?
I think I missed something. I understand if I'm on social media, if the profits from my data come back to me, but it sounds as if I am early in the social media and recruiting people, some of their data profits come to me. It runs upstream. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So it's like a social marketing.
A social marketplace, yes. But I would like to also, go ahead.
That's good.
I'd also like to also add, in addition to that, thank you for this very much, okay, is you think, well, there's the earlier bird gets the worm. What happens to the person that got the memo at the very last in that tropical rainforest in Belize or something like this, right? The last person on the planet gets the memo. Okay. So think about this. At this point, what happens, friends, is that basically what I'm predicting is that this is going to consolidate. I mean, think about this. We currently have 2.3 million cryptocurrencies. We have X amount of we have about 160 something, I believe, different fiat money systems in the world. What if we just came under one roof and it was one currency? I'm going to take it as far as to say that it potentially could take gold down to just I'm not going to come any further.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Anything further, Ken? You're good for now? Okay, great. So in about 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to go to questions. So remember that third microphone that you had a chance earlier to speak on, don't hold it down here, because we can't hear you. So this one's I'll do a bit of a side shot, literally like this, right? When you speak, that way we can hear your question, all right? So just please keep that one in mind. So look, let's just go through some of the takeaways that we said we'd talk about.
Can I add one more thing before this? Is that okay?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay,
Let me finish this first. Yeah. So we've got 5 takeaways. So one was the power of Web3 and how blockchain and decentralized systems can transform the global financial ecosystem. I think we've covered that. Number 2 was personal data ownership, why owning your own digital footprint is critical in the Web3 era. I think we can go into more detail on that. Give me a second, right? 3, monetizing social media data. I think we've explored that. 4, challenges and innovations, insights into overcoming obstacles in the blockchain space. We can go to that. And 5, obviously the future. So let's go back to the personal data or the point you're about to make.
Yeah, this is very, very important because I'd like to see a raise of hands of how many people have had their profiles copied on social media before. Okay, let's look. We have about, I would say, 25%, almost 25% have had their fake profiles made. You would think here in 2024 that Facebook would have figured this out right now. They should have figured this out by now, right? Okay, like verify identity. Okay, this is nonsense. They'd like to have us in a state of confusion, is what it appears to be. Let me share this: hundreds of thousands of dollars have been stolen from people because there's been people pretending to be me on Facebook and Instagram. How many people have been in Facebook jail before? Or Instagram jail? Raise your hand. I know this is up over 50%, so don't be shy. Okay, I guess a lot of people in Bali are on social media. Okay, but I would say a lot of people have been in social media jail. That's okay. So there's this control. There's this manipulation of the narrative. There is all these low vibes, but we have to let the truth out there. We have to be. We have to. This is having an influence on elections. This is causing chaos and division in the internet. So what happens is when we monetize in a social media, this means that we're friends for life, benefiting from one another. This means that it's going to strengthen relationships, because I know that I'm making money on every single time Robert goes and gets an Uber ride, every time Robert goes and gets an Airbnb home, every time Robert pays his Zoom, just his United subscription instead of Zoom. Okay, I'm like, man, that softens and makes light of our relationship, and also just ID verification. We can take this as far as voting. Instead of one person, look politically what's happening. We're on the verge of WW3. We won't give power to this. This will not take place. But you have these bobbleheads up at the top. But imagine if the people could do a general consensus through online voting of verified, and we live in a day and age where they're just like, hey, you can come across our borders. It's not, we're not getting a border conversation, but just to go ahead and vote without an ID. Hello. So there's a lot of, raise your hand if you believe that everyone should be verified, should just be verified. Do you guys believe in this? Like private, you have your privacy, but would you like protection for people?
All right, so just to quickly interject. So verified in this sense, what it means is that you can prove that it's you. Right? So in other words, it's verified, meaning on the blockchain in such a way that people know that you are the true person. It's not a fake, right? So that's what Ryzn, thank you, means by, do you feel or think that being verified on the blockchain or in the world, let's say, is important to you?
And I can understand like a reluctancy. I feel that vibe, this frequency a little bit, but think about this. This is a platform of the people, okay? This is all about the people. And just think about abundance in a utopia society where people are able to relax and breathe and be with one another because of a true money system, a financial system.
All right, so 5 minutes to questions. Okay, there's a few things more.
There's one more thing I want to add.
Add away.
And I just want to add this. My mission in this, all in all, I will say this is beyond the money, because basically what we've done is, and I have SEC attorney, I will not release the name right now, but he has my SEC attorney. I'll just say a person with some really great wisdom of 45 years being an attorney within the system, we shall say, okay, has shared with me that he believes that this has cracked the entire financial system. But the beautiful thing about this is, this also, another sensitive situation is, I desire to have a taxation system that goes back to that is in the control of the people. So I know that that's a sensitive subject also, but it's very important because we need we require infrastructure. I never use the word NEED, require desire. Okay, we require. As a civilization, infrastructure. 1 second, please. Okay, and what this, imagine if we have sound money, people are not going to care about having the tax go towards things that the people are able to vote potentially very easily through the monetized social network within regions. For example, imagine the ease of that. For example, and be able to see the funds transparency within the organization, aka government. Okay, so that also. But here's where my heart is. I believe my whole goal is to harmonize the masculine and the feminine in this world, okay? And this is a very interesting concept. I graduated from University of Washington in 2001 with an emphasis in psychology was my emphasis, okay? And I come here, look how many, for example, in Bali, where people, they're all the transgender stuff, not to get all like this, and people changing their things, and they're trying to make money by changing into this or that or whatever. And it's really, this shows where the world is at right now, okay? And this was not an overnight process for these people to change it all, right? I'm not condoning whatever people want to do. That's totally cool. cool. But I will say that there's a lot of, we live in this, you know, we know what's going on in these streets over here, for example, and across the world. People are selling themselves just to make ends meet to feed their children. So what this has an effect to go ahead and end this human trafficking situation. Let's literally think about this, because it's very sensitive. It's very dear to my heart because I have 2 daughters. I want this world to be a better place. I always said my children will not grow up a fiat money system, and therefore yours won't either. But check this out. So imagine if we have a balanced system where everyone is able to breathe and not chase dollar bills. Now what happens is, and women are not pointing their finger at me and saying, you're not a man because you can't provide. This is a sign of the times. People are really struggling right now. Okay, duh. Now imagine when we are able to bring abundance to all, the masculine and feminine are able to unite and come together. And I'm predicting this right now. I'm a futurist, utopian capitalist. That's my role. Okay, and this is going to be a very beautiful process. But what's going to happen is when you balance the masculine and feminine, we are going to raise the frequency of this world with the love frequency once and for all, unlike you've ever experienced, but you've dreamt of or thought of or seen in not even seen in a movie.
All right. So
that's my intention.
All right. So I think now you're getting an idea of who Ryzn is, his energy and his approach. Now I want to come and bring it not back down, but I want to bring it into not higher, but I can get the sense perhaps of what people from the outside looking in will see. Some more water, please, brother Guz, or brother Hadis. Thank you very much indeed when you're ready. So this is part of it, right? So I know people which come to me and say, hey, Rob, because again, SpeakuP Monday, right? We have 10 different market sectors. We interview, we have incredible relationships to 10 different market sectors here in Indonesia. Web3 blockchain is one of those sectors, right? Okay, so I have people from outside of Web3 and blockchain come and say, well, Rob, like, isn't that just a way to avoid paying tax? Isn't that just a way to avoid this finance, to hide money? Isn't this just a way to minimize, but maybe not so legally, things that should be paid? Because at the end of the day, government are there also to provide basic services for people. National health, right? Infrastructure, roads, transport, these sorts of things. So to those people, in a brief way, with brevity as much as you can, because I want to get to questions, is that, so if somebody said to you, Ryzn, right, what you said, utopian world, love, frequency, get it. All right, got it, fine. Will be wonderful. Right? But what about the day-to-day things that people need to pay for, that people need to be provided for? How does that system provide those things to the everyday people? What would you say?
Yeah, this is a beautiful thing. Thank you for that amazing job. So, okay, so there's a company, here's another note to take down if you will, is there's a company called Jetson.com. Remember Meet George Jetson? The flying drones, okay, for example. My friend owns this company. I'm dear friends with the owners of this company. These flying drones, little things, we'll call these the propeller, Jetson.com, okay? Shout out to Jetson.com. Okay, actually endorsed by Black Eyed Peas is one of the investors in them, one of the guys from Black Eyed Peas, for example, okay? Beautiful company. Drones, obviously. I want flying cars to go, because I want to live in Uluwatu and be able to come up to Ubud, right? Wouldn't that be nice, right? Because this traffic's kind of horrendous, right? Something's got to give, right? Okay, this is not far out, okay? We got UFOs in New Jersey right now taking place, drones, whatever you want to call it. Stay tuned. Okay, so right now. Okay, so this is interesting. So check this out.
Trying to keep this guy on point.
I am on point.
Difficult.
My point is,
All right, let's go.
Let's go. So check this out. This is interesting because let's go ahead and take it. I'd say, hey, CEO of Jetson.com. If we went ahead and took yours, and we sold these drones instead of you paying for advertising in Web 2, which when you sell stuff through Web 2, you're either paying for pay-per-click advertising or you're paying for SEO, search engine optimization. Most companies, let's say, would pay 10% in advertising. Is that fair enough? Would you guys say 10% is fair? We can even break it down to 5, which we will in this scenario, okay? So let's say 10% of $100,000 is $10,000, yeah? If we bring it down to $5,000, that's 5%, yeah? Okay? So, and so let's just go ahead and take a $5,000 commission. A car dealership makes $5,000. Now, imagine this, okay? Because I love this saying, collaboration is the new competition. Fair enough? Look what's happening in this world, right? Okay, one second. Hold that. Put a pin in that. But here's the deal. Imagine that $5,000 at 25 levels deep. Someone in that social graph, okay, a social graph, purchased that of your million people in your social graph. Not 86 million, 1 million. Fair enough? Because 5 told 2 told 2. Woo. 25 levels deep. And someone bought that flying car. Now imagine this, what happens, okay? That triggers that smart contract of $5,000, and that's broken up 25 levels deep. And what happens, because we're not talking digital subscriptions, we're talking about physical goods in Web 3.0. You're like, wow, you wake up and you're like, $200 just rolled into my bank account of a social media cryptocurrency that is freaking skyrocketing right now. Okay? Wow, this is freaking awesome, right? And every day that coin seems to be doing wonderful things. Wink, wink. Okay? So you're like, so you have a ledger inside your thing. Now, what I did is I created the ability to take that earnings statement right there. It says, okay, you made $200 on level 25. Thank goodness it wasn't level 26 or you wouldn't have got paid in that example, right? So you see the level. I'm going to color code that also. So it'll be like green, yellow, red. So you'll be able to look through this very easily and be like, okay, in red, whew, my goodness, it's on level 25 right there. And it has a share button for that earning. So you can actually take that earning, whether this is within your Uber app, aka Fair.io app on your phone, or your Airbnb, or your Not OnlyFans application, or whatever that application may be right there, okay? Now, imagine, Ticketmaster is a $28 billion industry, for example, okay? But this money, imagine that $200 goes and you're able to take that income earning statement and actually click share, okay? And you're able to share that income earning statement on your wall and saying, hey, everyone, my million friends, I just made $200 because a new flying drone in Bali just got sold on level 25. You guys, you got to take a look at this company. It's freaking awesome. Everyone is an influencer, and now you just influence. You're like, man, I hope a whole bunch of people buy that too, and it influences and it brings a whole new energy to the social marketplace.
All right, so I just want to clarify one thing. So Web3, what you're proposing is not about avoiding paying tax.
No.
Right?
Correct.
So, right. So there is still a government or a body providing the basic necessary services
I desire for this to be of utmost importance. Like it or not, faces will melt through this process, but it's going to be a beautiful thing for the government to have a system. This is very important. We need to be friends with our government officials to do things properly. Transparency.
All right. So what you're saying, right, without putting words in your mouth, please, is that, as you mentioned, so by the way, there's a word called co-opetition. About 5 years ago, a business partner introduced me to it. Co-opetition is a word where those who are seemingly or actually in competition with each other collaborate. So co-opetition, just a quick sideline there. So what you're saying, Ryzn, is that this whole ecosystem that you're talking about is there to support the government.
This is
provide
correct.
These basic services, correct?
This new operating system of the world, which is the proposal, is there to support everyone, including government and every individual on this planet.
Okay, questions. So now if you have questions, just raise your hand. Now, this microphone will come around to you. So maybe just have a moment. Yeah, there you go. So, Guz, we might need Hadis or someone to run the microphone around. Yeah, so Ken's got it already. Great. And after that, we'll go to our brother over here. All right. So remember, with questions, real quick, less preamble as possible. Straight to the question will be helpful. Over to you.
My question is about helping me to understand the DAO. I have data, and it isn't worth anything until someone wants to use it and buys it. So one of the functions of the DAO is to sell my data. The other function of the DAO is to recruit people into the social media, and so there's a social media hierarchy where people get paid for using my data. The DAO has to organize storing the data. Storing data is expensive. And the DAO has to have an ethics committee to decide what's appropriate. All of that doesn't sound so different from the Web 2 situation. I don't like to deal with the corporation, but now I'm dealing with a DAO. So tell me more about this DAO.
Yes, thank you for that.
Great. So we'll do 1 second. So we run the microphone over. Put your hand up, please. Yeah. So over there. Yeah, and then we'll work it around. Yeah. Thanks, Guzman. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Okay. Over to you.
All right. So there is a technology. Thank you for that question. It's beautiful. Okay, because we want to alleviate concerns, and I want to stress the importance of anonymity and data protection. Okay. So there, when I fused together these technologies, one of the core technologies was tokenization of data, and also decentralization of data as well. Okay, I'm not an expert in this, but I can refer you to even answer these concerns even in more detail. Okay, precise, and then share with me how you feel, please. After I connect you with my friend, I would love to hear that and be part of that conversation. Okay, so what happens is there's a company called I'm not going to reveal the name at this moment right here. Okay, on this right here live, but we have the technology, and there's Nobel Prize winning people in global communication. Part of this technology imagine a device that's $1,000. That what it does is it helps spread the internet better than Starlink across the globe, and you're able to tokenize your data and have a whole bunch of storage, adequate storage. Also, there's no monthly service of $1,000. Again, I'm not maybe we can look into this together, but we tokenize the data, and so what happens is that tokenization of that data as a different currency, it ties into like one of these other blockchains right here. It ties in and strengthens the master currency of the social network. So the whole goal here basically is to make the concept of dinero, money, aka money, okay, is like pretty much. I know this is crazy to understand. Is like I don't know how to say this besides like, just imagine, because one of my business partners is a gentleman named Brock Pierce. Raise your name if you know the name Brock Pierce. BrockPierce.com, okay? Brock Pierce, BrockPierce.com. I'm very dear friends with him for 7 years. He is the co-founder of US Digital Dollar, USDT. They raised $5 billion for EOS. I was at his house for Thanksgiving dinner 5 years ago. He's been to my home in Seattle, Washington as well. And I just got back from Washington, D.C. at his home here a few months ago before I came over here to Bali. When I spoke to Brock last time I was over there, he said we had a private conversation. The artificial intelligence documents were signed on August 11th. You can go ahead and research it with Brock Pierce, where we took control of artificial intelligence in Washington, D.C. at the National Archive. And Brock and I had a private conversation. And we were talking, and we said, now that the money is completely, let's just say it's completely, I don't want to say annihilated. I want to say blown into oblivion. Let's just say the concept of money itself has been completely changed. Okay? All right. Imagine just abundance. Let's just imagine abundance just for fun. Okay. Okay. And so imagine this. Now, what happens is, really think about this. I said to Brock, we're having a private conversation, just him and I in his master bedroom it's the Brock Pierce Schoolhouse in Washington, D.C., 50,000 square foot. There's 150 artificial intelligence professionals at this party. I said, Brock, is a private moment between Brock and I. I said, Brock, now that we have gone ahead and completely changed the financial system of the world and stuff, and we're talking about this going to United Nations, okay, right now. This is going to be in the hands of the United Nations very quickly, because this money from the technocrats, Mark Zuckerberg does not need $200 billion, okay? No, he does not. We will be friends, embrace him in this process. But here's the deal, is that right there, what Brock said was this. We came to the conclusion that the future of money is this. Number one, it comes down to karma. Just hear me out here for a second, okay? There's 3 bullet points on the future of money. Number one is karma. Our mutual dear friend who actually lives on Bali, you may know his name is Sacha Stone. Sacha Stone, raise your hand if you know Sacha Stone. Very dear friend, I've stayed at his house here. He went ahead and I told him about what Brock had said. And he said to me, Ryzn, that Brock and I have had that conversation as well. And get this, he goes, I believe that it's not just karma. The future of money is storytelling, friends. So think about this. The future of money is storytelling. Well, what does that mean? What that means is, what is your story? How did you bring an influence, use influence to bring people into this new network to really change the world and bring pure abundance to the world? What did you do? Did you go get BlackRock like I'm going after right now? My desire, my intention is to bring BlackRock with their $17 trillion of assets into the system to monetize all their network. Of course, they're going to join us. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, shout out to Jeff Bezos. He's from my hometown. Of course, course, you're going to monetize all your drivers to come into his social. I know he doesn't, not, he's competing against Elon Musk, obviously, with Twitter. So what, Jeff, you are welcome to come. I live in Mercer Island in Seattle. Come join us. But check this out. The thing about it is and then so we said karma, storytelling, what happened in this process and beyond. And I added the third aspect was intention. Think about that. Intention. What does that mean? You see what I'm saying? It's a beautiful story.
All right. We'll loop back to that. I can see that Ken is he has more information in his head than he realized. Don't worry, I think he'll count down afterwards. So we have another question here. So remember, with questions, guys, if we can go straight to the question, will be very helpful.
So I'm a little bit confused about this social marketplace. Like marketplace is pretty straightforward. You put something on, someone buys it. And social media is also pretty straightforward. People put on content and others comment on it and like it. Now, the thing about blockchain is that every single action requires a transaction. Transactions cost gas, and gas costs money. So what would incentivize people to put content on the blockchain when they have to pay to be able to post or like?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for that. First of all, just imagine this. Step number one, you're bringing your friends just in the social network, and you understand that the more people that come, because it's all about community, the more people that come into this, and this Mark Zuckerberg wasn't able to achieve this. It wasn't possible until we had DAO technology, DAO technology, decentralized autonomous organization, and smart contracts, and also NFT technology. Okay, so this cannot be stopped. There's no door to go knock on and say, Facebook, you can't start this cryptocurrency. This is a fully decentralized social marketplace. Okay, so what happens is we go from the friends just coming on as friends to share and like and stuff, and you'll see some really cool things because now what happens is now we get into the business aspect of this is a marketplace. So now people understand, they're like, my goodness, this social media cryptocurrency, the more transactions that take part in it, the more the coin is going to go up, because the more transactions is going to create burning tokenomics. So they want to support and bring the e-commerce into that ecosystem instead of going, and they're also going to be lured in because different applications, for example, if Ripple was the blockchain, for example, XRP was the blockchain, for example, that was tied to the new Zoom into the system, for example. So this is going to be an evolution process.
So there's no content creation or commenting, just bringing in friends.
No, that's not correct. Excuse me. Okay, it is all. It's actually going to be, you are going to get paid to like and share posts, and we have the ability to actually turn posts into NFTs where you can actually sell your posts. Let's say something historic happens, and for example, not to get political, Trump goes ahead and does a post on this platform. It's like Elon Musk just came out as an alien. I'm just joking, okay, as a joke, but it was something big to go ahead and stop what's happening in the USA. Is a monster news situation, just as a joke, for example. Imagine that one post, it's got value because there's a moment in history what took place right there, for example, okay? Putin says this, whatever. You want to own that post? Well, here you go. And you see what I'm saying? So you could actually sell that. Yeah, go ahead. Let me clarify.
I don't see how... like people who post would want everyone to see it, and they would not want a paywall behind it.
They don't have to. They don't have to. We're backed by a substantial amount of money going into this process. I'm not going to get into the amount right now, okay? But this is an easy situation to address. Gas fee, we are blockchain agnostic, okay? So that means all blockchains in the world can tie into this DAO and build applications within that DAO system. Gas fees are not that much for certain situations.
All right, so let me...
and we have layer zero.
Let me, if you can pass the microphone just here, my brother. Yeah, her next question. So I think what his question was like...
Thank you.
Like, how do you make the money? How do people actually make the money? So if you can, in the briefest way you can, without any alliteration or storytelling, just tell us, how is it that people make money from this platform?
Okay, let's go ahead and take for fun a yoga studio, for example, and they sell like a $400 membership, and they're willing to give 10% in advertising because they're like, man, I really like this coin. I want to be a cool yoga studio within this situation right here. And so that's $40, right? Imagine that smart contract going through the system, boom. So if you have all these different things things just in free money coming at you, just like into this upside down pyramid, which we turn into a funnel for the first time in history, you're not going to have a problem paying if there's a 15-cent transaction fee. I'm not saying maybe it's 2 cents, maybe it's 5 cents. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. But I'm just saying if you've got money coming from these all these things coming in, you would love to support the system by making a post right there for pennies or less than pennies on the dollar.
All right. So what you're saying, and help me out here, is that part of the way that this works is that products, services in the world, right, are attracted to the platform for whichever reason. And by becoming part of that platform, they have to basically, via smart contract, say, right, a percentage of what is sold to that network or which is used by the network goes back to that network.
Correct.
Right? And that's part of the way that the money is made. The second part you're saying is that...
And then the reason why they want to do that is because they want to support this new currency that's skyrocketing.
Great. So then, as you said, the second part of this is that because there's a lot of transactions going on, then the price of that currency is rising as well.
Especially with those burning tokenomics on 25 levels deep. Yes, indeed.
Okay, great. That's two. Which are the other ways of which money is made? How money is generated? So that's two ways so far.
Well, I think we can go ahead and take a look at the market caps of all these different applications that are on your phone. I mean, you could take a look at Candy Crush, for example. Someone go ahead and pull up Google if you could look at Candy Crush application, what the market cap of Candy Crush is, what the valuation of that is right there. Imagine that money going back to the people right there. Just that little game. You may have played it once. You may be addicted to it. Just that one little game right there. People pay for motorcycles and applications. Okay, motorcycles could sell on this. Every single thing in the world could sell on this. I'm working on, for example, the other night I was at Red Ruby in Bali. We can go ahead and be like, look, you go ahead and you instead of paying $20 for there, we're gonna give 10% back to the people, which is only $2, but this goes up, pays out through there. I'm just giving hypotheticals of different real world situations. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. So I think we got that part done. Just before your question, so the word smart contract has been used quite a lot. I'm not sure if everybody knows what it is. So without asking for a show of hands or anything like that, in simple terms, my brother, if you can explain what a smart contract is, because a lot of this is dependent on it.
Yes, this is a great question. So a smart contract means that when something happens, a transaction take place, it's actually a smart contract because other things can take place. Let's say a sale takes place, but within the smart contract, it's programmed to go ahead and pay out 25 levels deep. This is one of the aspects of the smart contract. Inside the smart contract, you could say X amount of coin is burnt on every single level as well. I'm not a smart contract. I've done well in smart contract. There's Ethereum smart contracts. There's Tron TRX contracts. There's all these different smart contract technology cryptocurrencies.
Great. So another way of saying it is that what you're saying is that there's a contract which is set up automatically.
Correct.
Without anyone needing to change it, look at it, where whichever's written in that contract. Let's say, for example, each time one of these glasses is sold for $1, right? The minute it's sold, the fast contract executes whichever you wrote in there. Maybe it was saying, look, of $1 that is spent, that is made from the sale of that glass, 10%, 10 cents will go back to your bank account. Right? So you don't have to oversee it. You don't need to look at it. You don't need to think about it. Every time one of these is sold, 10 cents goes in your bank account, which is what he was saying. Like the next morning you wake up and you got $10, $100, $1,000 in your bank account from one of these smart contracts being executed over time, repeatedly by different people. They can be anywhere in the world. So this is part of what a smart contract is, which is quite, I think, important for people to understand.
And this is really interesting also. Let's take it, because we like concerts, right? And concert prices have gotten kind of expensive. So let's say that you go get a $200 concert ticket with Ticketmaster. Let's say that 50% of that goes to the artist and to the venue, for example. So that leaves $100 right there. So imagine in your Ticketmaster, what we did was we call this Ticket Concierge. Again, it's if you guys are familiar with Meetup application and Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is a $28 billion. It's really interesting. Most of these applications are $25 to $28 billion each. But it's interesting that, get this, OnlyFans OnlyFans is worth $28 billion and Airbnb is worth $25 billion. That shows the state of the world that's in, that people selling themselves basically online is more important than housing, roof overhead. Woo! Okay, that's a heavy subject right there, yeah? So check this out. This is very interesting. So imagine that $100 of that ticket, instead of it going to Ticketmaster, let me ask you, if there's a Ticketmaster, who is the slave in that system? Did we give our money to go ahead for these we'll take it just for a joke, to these false idols through the system, for example? I almost named it Ticket Slave because now the system's the slave instead as a joke, but we went ahead and named it Ticket Concierge, so that money goes back to the people very graciously, yes? So imagine now what happens is as you're on your Ticket Concierge app, it's actually brought to your attention what U2 is on tour. Wow, I'm making this money from this U2 concert. And you're able to, hey, post that earnings statement on your mainframe wall. Hey, everyone, I just made $2 off this U2 ticket. Well, take that $100. You actually made $4 because 25 levels deeper. Like, wow, I just made $4 off U2. Dope. Cool. They're coming to Bali. They're coming to Jakarta. Sweet. Post it on there. Hey, everyone, you want to come to the concert? Check it out. U2, come join me. Now, you just influenced a million people per se. And you're like, wow, I just got lots of money. Let's roll.
All right. Now, I realize that there's been a lot of information that has been processed or even shared tonight. Just keep in mind that this is on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Instagram Live. So we keep a copy on YouTube Live, right? So at any point in time, if you want to recap this, you have that opportunity to recap. Now we're going to go to a question here. Yeah.
Okay. So I actually have a lot of questions.
Good.
But the one that's really sort of at the front of my mind is, as this Web3 comes up and it's social based, is that kind of the solution for the AI revolution that's going to happen with the jobs being taken away?
Correct. There has got to, with every, thing that happens in life, there's an opposite and equal reaction, right? And that's just the beautiful thing about how this beautiful universe operates, correct? Yeah? Okay?
That's the solution.
So this will completely be refined. We will have artificial intelligence. For example, if you want to make a social media post, there can be a social media upgrade within our system. We have artificial, everyone's going to AI. It's going to be pretty fun. So you could actually pay, let's say you paid $10 more as a subscription or $20 more, $10 a month for and you're able to have an AI generation. So you're like, hey, make me a picture of, whatever for a post. You could actually use AI right on the spot to make a post, which then could draw people to actually purchase that post as an NFT. Isn't that beautiful?
Okay.
That's more fun than Facebook, I believe.
Yeah.
And Instagram.
Any other questions?
All right, another question just over, just grab the microphone. Thank you very much. Abdul, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
I have a question. This idea of Web3, blockchain, all this has been around for over 10 years, right?
Actually, I would not say that's accurate because DAO technology has not been out for 10 years. So, no.
Okay, my question is why,
No.
I have been hearing for at least me personally for 4 years because I'm a developer.
Yeah, that works.
So
yes.
why isn't it applied right now? Why?
Because
Is it realistic enough or no?
Yeah.
Why is it, for example, compared to, I know they are completely different things, but for example, AI, everyone has experienced that by now. Everyone can talk to it. Like, what about that? Why isn't it applied? Is there a very big obstacle, and when do you expect it to be in action?
Well, I've chosen for this to go live February 14th, Valentine's Day, because our goal is to harmonize love across the planet. Okay, so go ahead.
Sorry, are you talking about what's going to happen on Valentine's Day? Is it a specific company or
Yes, the company will be called Voice. Okay? Voice, and so within 3 weeks, just FYI, you will be able to monetize into the social network. Okay, this is going to be a time I really highly encourage you to try to find 5 people just to sign up for free and say, let's take a look at this. Okay, And hopefully they'll get 2 people, and you'll have 86 million people underneath you potentially. It'd be cool if you had 1 million. But check this out. The reason why it has not happened yet is because people, with smart contract technology, there, we have this, when I keep hearing this, we have these words such as, an ambassador, or you're a affiliate, or that have been coined, to, like, for example, network marketing situations, which some people say are Ponzi schemes and blah, 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 all this and that. These are just words floating around trying to find the right place for these things to come together and actually have a footstone, a corner hold on the next thing moving forward, just like MySpace was around for a little while. What happened overnight? Whoop! Goodbye. Facebook has been holding its place, okay? Check this out. I'm going to go ahead and call the elephant in the room. Facebook went ahead and changed their name to Meta. Remember when this happened? Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. They've actually blocked me on, because they know who I am. They've blocked me numerous times, my account on Instagram and Facebook, and it made me reset. That's why I don't have many followers right now, because I would have had probably a lot more followers than I have right now on all these platforms. Why I've been traveling, they've kicked me off of WhatsApp. This should not be done. This is actually dangerous to limit someone from WhatsApp in this day and age. Okay, so what I'll share with you is that Facebook changed their name to Meta. Okay, and it's insinuating that the metaverse, they're going to go into metaverse. Okay, because they knew that they could not go into Web3 because they are tied to the NASDAQ. Okay, what do you think is going to happen when Facebook goes ahead and we come out with the world's first social and this thing goes live? Facebook is going to fall. There's going to be a serious market correction where the elephant, I'm predicting this right now, right here in Bali, I love this place, is that this is going to now bring attention to all the Web2 companies, the Uber, the $185 billion. This is going to bring attention, especially when we release these applications. Day one is not just the social network. At that point, we'll be releasing the decentralized Zoom, which is United, UNYTED.space. Shout out to Florian, the CEO. We will also be releasing, at that time, the second digital product, which is the decentralized Ticketmaster. So when we're talking about shifting, 25 billion, 30 billion of companies here, and what's going to happen is we're going to create a list of companies that we're not going after. This is a very peaceful situation, okay? Because they can bring their influence and merge into this very, very quickly. All right, friends? Okay? So that's powerful right there. You see? There's going to be this shift that takes place.
Okay. All right. So Abdul, I think you got more than what you bargained for with that one. So look, what we're going to do is we're going to begin, unless any more questions, hold on, Ryan, Ryzn, we're going to begin to wrap this up. So how we're going to do it is going to be like so. So number one is we haven't really heard about voice yet, right? So part of this is what is the future, what is voice, and then what is the future of voice, right? That will be the first question. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to, after that, come back with a few words, and then we're going to end with you, which will be anything that perhaps you wanted to say but maybe haven't said, or something that you think is powerful to reiterate. Then you'll have that chance to say it. Then we'll close. After the close, we're going to have a photo together. Everyone who's here, we're going to capture the moment, right, with a photo. Then after that, you're more than welcome to network or to speak to each other or speak to Ryzn. Any other questions that you may have, all right? So, in this order, my brother, first question is, so what is voice? And what is the future of voice? Over to you.
Yes. So voice is just that right there. Voice. It's a meditation. Just kidding. It's giving everyone a voice, not just influencers. How beautiful is that? Everyone a voice as we connect the world. Again, back to those decentralized AWS servers. They're $1,000 a piece. $500 of that is going into the compensation plan, and you're going to see that's $20 per level that's going up to the people. People are like, wow, I'm getting paid to by this amazing company that is decentralizing and tokenizing data and bringing internet to connect more people on. That's going to drive the price of the token up. How beautiful is that, right? So voice is giving every single person on the planet a voice. This needs to happen because I truly have an issue that we have all these billionaires in the world right now, but how come Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg have not come together and say, we are not going to let a single person die today, a mother have a child, with her child dying of hunger in her hands. That's a messed up situation right there. And that happens. I forget how many people die on the daily, in this world, but it's a lot of people that die unnecessarily out there. So voice is here to change the world. This is, I believe, 100%, if not, and we're all here to add to this. Who would like to expedite this mission? I don't see how I believe this is a very important mission for us right now. So the future of voice is to go ahead and go spread across the globe as fast as possible. Right away here, within 3 weeks, we'll go live. Then the coin will go live on the exchanges on February 14th on Valentine's Day, straight out of Dubai. Okay, straight out of Palm Island. Okay, is where it's going live. That's where my business partners are, right there. Okay, now then from there we're advancing the ecosystem. Obviously, that's going to be taking place. And I just want to say, thank you so much to Bali and the government. I've enjoyed leaving the social media capital of the world. I chose Bali as a place of healing from what the world in Web 2.0. I reside in Web 3.0 because I've been in helping people come into this. You can see my vibrations higher because I see the bright future right now.
Beautiful. All right. Now, so last question is going to come in about 2 minutes for you to answer. If there's anything that you'd like to say, give yourself some time to think, or it might be reiterating something, or it might be something that you think, I think this is a good time to share it, right? Okay. So everybody else, just want to thank you for being here tonight. There's been, again, a great deal of information to be shared. His energy is off the charts, as you can see. I've tried my best to kind of direct that energy into a certain place, because if we both go off, then no one's gonna understand anything. So that's the first thing. The second thing, thank you again, Tropical Nomad, but Guzman and Hadis, who's here. There you are, my brother. Thank you very much indeed. We had the elements at play tonight, so thank you again, team, for being flexible enough to move the monitor and to bring the umbrella out. That was interesting.
Thank you, Divine God, for stopping the rain.
All right, but it's nice and clear now, right? So thank you to all of you. Please remember that we do have a SpeakuP Monday community here. There's a WhatsApp group over here that you can join as a QR code. If you're watching online and want to join, just send us a DM.
Yes.
We'll get to that. And you're coming, not just be cool. So what else I want to say? So next week is all about sustainability. It'll be December the 30th, and we have a guy originally from Australia, actually, who's been living in Indonesia for some time and has created some incredible businesses when it comes to sustainability. So next week, for those of you who are moved, entranced, entrapped by sustainability, and you want to know, well, how is it that I begin to become a sustainability entrepreneur? How do I spot the market gap? How do I basically move into that market? How do I then take that plan into fruition in a way that is duplicatable to a certain extent anyway, and can become successful? So next week, that's what the topic is. So if that kind of taps you on the shoulder, I do suggest and recommend you come in person, 6 o'clock. The guest comes at 5:30, right? 6 o'clock, everyone else can come. We go live at 6:25 for an hour or so. That's next week. From me, as you know, Robert Ian Bonnick, Gateway to Indonesia. If there's any way that we can help you in any way, shape or form, in terms of if you are a company which is moving from overseas and wants to come to Indonesia, we have 3 things which are quite important. Number 1 is that we have, what's called an immersive situation, which means that feasibility, we are able to introduce you to the key stakeholders, innovators, disruptors in 10 market sectors, so you can really begin to understand whether what you have in mind will work, as well as gaining the most, at the moment, right now, nuances of that market. Number 2 is that we then connect you to the right, let's say, shepherds and sheep in any market. We're able to pinpoint and connect you to the right people, businesses which are able to leverage your importance within that industry. And number 3 is all about promotion, organic. How do you do this, right? So Ryzn, you may have known him or not. Now, whether you like him or not is not the point. The point is that he has an opportunity to show you who he is. If that's something that resonates with you, then you're probably going to be in touch. If it's not, then you probably won't, right? So part of what we do is to create opportunities for you to actually see people who they really are. Because again, what people do is very important, but who they are is probably more important now. All right. So this is what we do, Robert Ian Bonnick, or RIB and Associates. So feel free to all the social media channels and so on. Finally, to you, Ryzn, thank you for taking the time and spreading yourself. You were 2 minutes late, which I'm going to talk about another time, but you made it. It's okay. And thanks again for being who you are. Again, this is who I know you to be, pretty much 24/7. It's not like you've had to work your way up to become this. This is kind of who he is, 24 hours a day. It feels like. I'm sure you have your down moments. So look, one last thing. In this wrap up, please let people know how to get in touch with you, what you're doing. So if they are moved and if they are attracted to what you're doing, then they know how to get in contact with you as well. The stage is yours.
Definitely. Yeah, thank you so much for everything, all of you. So first of all, my website, you can find me at kingofweb3.com. Okay, #0 ego. King of Web3, that's what I aspire to be. Okay, and kingofweb3.com. Also, you can find me on Instagram at superhuman Ryzn. That's superhuman RYZNN. Oh, just N, one N. Okay, superhuman Ryzn. And you can also, I'll just leave it at that right there. Okay, you can connect to me, phone, email through the website, obviously. All right. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Okay. Please. And also, I want to say that there's key individuals that I aspire to get in communication with immediately. I came to this country because I really want to help transform this country. I've fallen in love with Bali. So, shout out to the Bali, royal families, all the royal families, and also shout out to the government. I'm looking to connect with the government to help make this the new social media capital of, we're working with Dubai, obviously through Dubai, but this is where, Mark Zuckerberg was in United States. Here I am. I aspire, what I'm saying? So here I am in Bali. So let's make it happen. And also, I desire to get in touch with, someone like Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is from my hometown. I believe that he's a very smart individual, and that that alone will trigger companies. BlackRock also, 17 trillion. This only supports the cryptocurrency space and assists in moving away from the failed fiat money systems. And then we can put this into a system that can help bring taxes and level the playing field and raise up the vibration of the entire world right there. So that's my personal belief, and I'm sticking to it.
Round of applause, everybody. Ryzn Domino, welcome. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, a quick